Hey everyone, it's Right Click. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another gameplay review for Scythe, who purchased a gameplay review. So thank you so much, Scythe. And it's actually their birthday coming up, so happy early birthday. And
Thank you.
we're going to be doing a review for them. And they are gold right now. At the time of recording, I'm currently GM3. This is season 2 of... It's like the second season 2 of Overwatch 2, which I guess now is called Overwatch. Like, there's a lot of weird changes. But this is the season where Flash Heal's now base kit. So, just so everyone knows, like, what is going on right now. We're in base kit mode with Flash Heal. And, they said in their request, "Hi, I want to hit diamond, but the highest I've peaked is plat 3. I just find it hard to actively think on Mercy. I believe I can hit diamond if I improve, but I'm just not sure how I can carry. I know in lower elo, you have to have the mindset of carrying. Am I doing enough? What do you think I need to work on to at least maintain plat? Also, I don't have a lot of time to play like you. I have a full-time job, but you're GM, so it's possible for me to hit diamond, which I super agree with, and I am very excited to dive into this. So right now they're gold 3. Scythe, do you have any questions for me before we start? Otherwise, I've got the replay pulled up in just a second.
Oh, I think we should be good.
Cool. And this is a 25-minute game, which is exciting. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about. And
Ready for battle.
let's see. Okay, there you are. Oh, we've got the rat.
I love this hamster so much. Also, I should have mentioned this. I am in a 3-stack with the Mizuki and the Bastion.
Okay, cool. So in general, let me look at the team comp really quick. That's usually how I start these
Stay
off.
close.
So let me
I
pause.
can't hear you if you stray.
And the heroes always talk over me at the start. Okay, and you can hear the game. Just a quick double check, right?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so in this comp, um, as you know, I don't know, have you watched my stream before or just my YouTube videos?
Mostly just the YouTube videos.
Okay, cool. So I think I mentioned this in the YouTube videos, but some like, especially like for people who watch my stream or something, everyone will know I really advocate a lot for healing on Mercy. And I know for a lot of people that's like kind of shocking because Mercy is typically known to be like very heavy on damage boost. I think some of this comes from uh Overwatch 1, where Mercy really was like really strong with damage boost. She would like make a lot of characters one shot and things like that. In Overwatch 2, damage boost not quite as strong anymore. And I think there's one less, well, factually there is one less person on your team in role queue. So healing like single targets is like a little bit better in Overwatch 2 as well. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because in your comp, you've got Bastion, Mizuki, Genji, and Zarya. And in my experience, Mercy Mizuki is like a very difficult comp because I personally find a lot of the time we will like fall behind on healing. And Mizuki's a newer hero, excuse me, and I just like don't know as much about playing with him so far.
Right.
But I do find like my gut feeling is like it's not a great comp for Mercy. And so what I will probably recommend you or like advise is that you'll probably, and I haven't seen the game yet, like you might stomp them or something, but like I would guess you'll have to put in your fair share of healing this game. So I would highly recommend, if I were you, I would either just sit on, and depends on who is closer to you at the time, but you can either sit on Bastion or Genji as your primary beam targets. Typically, what I'll say is like if Bastion goes into his turret form and is like shooting, you'll definitely want to blue beam him because that's like
Right.
so much value. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like a lot of damage in like a short interval, and so you want to like really pocket that. Um, and then otherwise, if Genji's kind of looking for a combo, you can throw it onto him, the damage booster, like the pocket. Um, but otherwise, I would also just like in general, you're gonna kind of be responsible for looking to heal pretty much everyone on your team, and so I would just really say you're gonna kind of have to be looking for a lot of opportunities to like put your beam on people either to heal them or to like get some quick damage boost value, more so than in like other comps. Like and sorry, I've been rambling a little bit, but like if you had like an Ashe, for example, just as a quick difference here, like you
Mhm.
would probably just sit on her most of the time, and then if someone needs healing, go heal them or something like that. But in this comp, I suspect you're gonna have to be like spinning around a lot, moving your beam around a lot, and that's totally okay. But that's the beauty of like learning how to like adapt to different scenarios. So, anyways, let's get started with this. And I personally think like Mercy Bastion is really strong. So you're probably gonna get a lot of value out of helping him.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorites, besides Ash.
Yeah, Ashe is so good. I think Sojourn's really good. I'm trying to think who
Mhm.
else. Anything that's like where they shoot and immediately hits them. Oh, cute Peach. Um is always pretty good with Mercy. So yeah, you can see already here. You're gonna have to heal Zarya a lot, which is good that you're doing that. Nice. I like that you're pocketing Bastion already. Really good. Great flash heal. So yeah, flash heal's on base kit now. So I would be looking to use that pretty much whenever it's off cooldown if someone is under half.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
kind of weird having it at the beginning of the game. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, right. Sometimes I forget even, and I have to like
Mhm.
remind myself to use it. So let's just see what happened here. I think your Zarya is just taking a little bit too much damage. But let me just take a look. So yeah, you were healing her a lot. You were pocketing Bastion, which I think is great. You're able to flash heal him and save him. Awesome. And then Zarya here. It's Zarya into sorry, not Bastion, Reinhardt. And I do think this tank comp is, and I'm not like fully knowledgeable about every tank versus tank matchup, but I do think
Mhm.
from playing this game for like 8 years, I think Zarya is pretty hard countered by Ryan. So I think this might be
Yeah.
a little tricky because she just like beams the shield a lot of the time and can't really mess him up. So yeah, you might have to like really sit on her, but here she's just like overextending a little bit. She's walking up a little too much. And I'm gonna go back to this a little bit. Mizuki just doesn't have a lot of healing. It's like a lot of like AoE over time type of healing. And so like this isn't like we just don't have a lot of burst healing to like get her back up quickly, and she just
Right.
is slowly dying. So that might be tricky. Honestly, not much you can do there, and I think your timing on flash heal was fine. Let me get back to you. Okay, there we go. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in and ask me. Like, I felt like I needed to do this, and then this happened, or I don't understand still. Please let me know.
Okay. Okay, and then real quick, I
Yeah.
haven't been able to fully read the patch notes about the flash heal, but I
Yes.
do remember when it was a perk, if the person was critical, it would do like triple the amount of healing, I think, something like that.
Yes.
Is that still this, like, isn't it 2 times now
So yeah,
with it being on
great
her
question.
base?
I think you're right. I this is gonna sound really weird. And I imagine hearing someone who's like really high ranked say this is like very confusing. But I kind of play this game on vibes, and so I don't always know exactly like the math of everything.
Mhm.
But my understanding, and there's like the reason why I'm getting a little bit caught up on this or confused is there's two changes going on. So I do know with the flash heal perk, if you pick it, it makes Flash Heal do even less. And so I know that is for real. Like I think they reduced it by like 10 or something like that. So it is a slight nerf, but you get two of them. And then I think for just in general, I think you might be right. Maybe it only doubles now instead of triples. But regardless, I think it still isn't nice to hit the when they're under half if you can,
Right,
because you're
okay.
gonna get like at least double the value. Maybe it's still triple. I'm not 100% sure. If you want, I can quickly check. But regardless, I'm still gonna give you the exact same advice. Like it doesn't really change anything around like
Mhm.
try to hit it when they're like slightly under half. In my experience, that like feels the safest. Because like if you do
Yeah.
end up hitting it above half, like say they start to heal and they don't need it, okay, at least you like you didn't need that like extra burst probably. Whereas if they are too low, sometimes you run the risk of like missing it if you try to wait too long to like guarantee the extra 50, and it's not worth it. So they're, in my experience, when they're getting to around like 30 or 40% health, then just like try to throw the flash heal in, okay?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's especially good.
Definitely.
Sorry, to really quick, let me just
No, it's
finish
okay.
and then I'll let you go. Um, Especially on tanks, I think that's easier to do. When you are dealing with someone a little squishier, I will say I'll try to queue it maybe a little higher. Like if they're around 50% or 60% health, I'll queue it even, because a lot of the time, like these people with lower health, even if they just get by one ability, they might die like at 50 or 60%. So you'll want to like queue it a little bit earlier if they have a lower total health pool. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, now go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know, because when I first started with this season, I was like, the flash shield definitely doesn't feel like it's doing triple right now. Mercy's whole kit felt off because I didn't know that they like changed like her speed, and that they kind of like changed how flash shield worked. So I feel like it took me like a day or two to kind of get like used to it, and now it's like okay ish.
Yeah, here, I just pulled it up on my phone. Let me see. I'm just scrolling down to see. Mercy, mercy, mercy. I think they did a patch after that one, so hold on. I'm scrolling. Far Reaper. Um, Mercy. Okay. Flash heal. Yes. Okay, so here's the exact change. So they now it's base kit, which is a huge buff, like huge, huge, huge buff. The cooldown also got reduced. So instead of being 15 seconds, it's now 12. So you can use it more often. And then the base healing was increased as well from 50 to 60. So they buffed the like base amount it does, but you're right, they reduced the multiplier when they're under half to 2x instead of 3x. So
Okay.
now the math kind of works like it's either 60 or 120, whereas before it was like 50 or 150. So that is kind of even more reason why you should try to queue it a little earlier, I will say, because you get less bonus from like hitting it under half. So you might as well queue it a little bit earlier, and the cooldown is a bit lower. So you don't have to like greed a little bit for like get like greedy for like how long you wait before you do it. So like on Zarya here, you might want to flash heal. Say assuming you had it up and everything. I'm
Mhm.
just hypothetically, like you could queue it at like half HP on her, in case she takes more damage and then gets bumped up. Versus you don't have to wait till like she's this low and then could die.
Right.
Is mainly how I think about it, and then using it pretty much like whenever someone is like starting to dip, and or if you're running behind on heals, you can just throw it in. That's kind of like how I think about it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Cool. Let's keep going. So this was when she died. Yeah, we just or she just died again. Was this the second time? I kind of got confused. Oh yeah, that's the
Um.
second time now because you're at alt. You're almost at alt. Um, so she's just dying. Let me see what happens here again. Yeah, yeah. So I think partially, if I'm being totally honest with you, I think partially what's happening here is the comp we're on is just like uh not super cohesive in the sense of like Zarya, when she is taking a lot of damage, is actually can kind of blow up because she doesn't have armor. So armor like reduces how much damage they take. I'm sure you know that, but like the math is actually
Mhm.
kind of interesting on it. I don't fully understand it. It's like super complex actually, but basically just think about it as like extra special health that like is like makes them even tankier. And
Right.
yeah, it's a long story, but she only has shield health, and so she can like really blow up if she takes a lot of damage quickly. And so that's kind of what's happening here. And you guys don't really have burst healing to offset her taking these like big chunks of damage. And so what's going to probably end up happening here is, or like what I've seen so far, and I think there's some things you can control, and then some things that are just like, okay, this is just the reality of what's going to be happening with this comp, is she's taking a lot of damage, blowing up. We don't like Mercy and Mizuki don't really have a ton of burst healing. And they kind of rely on, at least let me just speak to Mercy because I don't play Mizuki a lot, but like you kind of rely on like getting your beam on them ASAP once I think they're gonna start taking damage to like already start offsetting it, right? Because you just do like
Right.
a consistent amount over time. And so what is kind of happening here is, let me show you right here. I think you're maybe like pocketing Bastion a little too much, and you're
Okay.
losing control of how to prevent your team from effing up, essentially. Like a lot of what you're doing on Mercy is like playing babysitter, and uh, kind of the problem that's happening here a little bit is I think you're looking for, and it's good you're doing this, but there's like everything's in moderation with Mercy. I think it's good we're pocketing Bastion here, but we there are some like ultimate truths in Overwatch, and one of them for like 90% of situations in my experience, if your tank dies or like cannot take space, no matter how well you are like pocketing people and like following the rules, you are still going to like lose that fight. And so yeah, there are just some like ultimate truths. And so one that like I follow and has like, I actually never really talk about this that much. This is kind of interesting and like unique to this review. But um like if you if your tank is losing the like tank 1v1, typically like following the rules on Mercy is not going to like push you over the edge. So I would highly recommend, even with this much health, I would be like sitting on Zarya, and anytime she's full, okay, now I'm free to like swap to everyone else. But like if Zarya loses, it's kind of like an auto loss for us a little bit. It's
Okay.
not like 100% of the time. Like obviously everything I'm saying is like majority of the time is true, but things just depend on like every situation's different. But I would say I think we're doing a little too much pocketing here, and then by the time, see, like she's already getting kind of like half HP,
Yeah.
and we're still pocketing Bastion. It's it is just a little too late to like recover at this point. She exploded, right? And we were trying to swap our beam, and I know it's just awkward. I saw what happened, but like Bastion's in your way, and it like went on Mizuki instead of Zarya. It just was awkward. Like trust me, I've been there. But by that point, we've like opened the door for Zarya to die, and now she is dead, right? Like it's like we just couldn't get it on, and then she ends up blowing up, and it just is like falls apart. And so
Right.
even though you followed the rules, like even the rule I told you at the start of this, right? Like Pocket Bastion when he goes in the turret form, ultimately we lost because like we didn't have enough healing. And I think a lot of people uh don't understand, and like that healing as support is ultimately like one of the main things you can do on Mercy to control the outcomes of the game. So, what just wrap this up, I would ultimately recommend try to like keep your beam on Zarya here as much as you can. Uh and make sure she's like consistently high HP. And then when you have
Okay.
time to damage boost, that's kind of like an extra nice to have. But you're gonna kind of have to heal bot. Any questions about that?
Okay. Okay. So from what I'm getting from your gameplay, because I mean I've watched your videos and I feel like I've improved just a lot by watching them. There isn't like a goal ratio between like
Right.
damage boost and healing.
Totally agree. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So in that case, I shouldn't wait till like I guess like top off my tank's health. I should be making sure that he is consistently like either just basically not critical, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, wait. Sorry. I think I'm gonna say kind of no, and I'm glad you're asking so I can clarify. So
Okay.
I think I would say it really, unfortunately, really depends on the comp. But let me just explain. This is why I say I kind of play off vibes, because like the ultimate way you get better at Overwatch is you kind of like templatize everything. And so, for example, what I just saw here, if I from your perspective, like if I'm just like reviewing my own gameplay in the moment, thinking about what's going on, like a lot about Overwatch is like like adjusting to what's happening. So what I've seen twice happen now is my Zarya just kind of like explode. right? Like she just like
Right.
dies. And so the only thing I can do on Mercy to prevent that, like so that is like cause, that is like the scenario that we're dealing with is like Zarya is blowing up. The adjustment that I can do, like I can only control my actions, right? So I'm going to try to control this by putting my beam on her when she even just starts to take damage and always keeping her very high HP. Because I'm observing that she is like very quickly exploding, and we don't have like, for example, BAP Immort or something like that to like like save her right before she dies, right? We don't have that kind of like
Gotcha.
burst healing. So what you can do on Mercy is like considering you just consistently apply, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact amount, but it's like 60 healing per second or something like that, through her beam. You just want to get it on ASAP onto like people who are taking damage. And so what I would recommend, like what I would do differently here moving forward is when Zarya is walking up and she's starting to brawl with people, my beam is going on her. At this point, like Zarya is now kind of like my new primary beam target, is what I'm observing needs to happen here. So I will
Okay.
be healing her a lot because my role in this comp I'm observing is like I need to be like the person dispensing a lot of healing into our tank because it's like not happening with Mizuki, and she's like we are like losing fights because of that, right?
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
what I would say is like, yeah, don't forget everything about like I need 60/40 damage boost healing. Um, and actually I have a question for you since you brought that up. Are, were you asking because you try to follow that rule, or were you asking because you just heard me say like I don't follow that rule?
Actually, I was more of asking because out of all of like the Mercy like gameplay videos I've watched, I want to say that you're probably the first creator that has not mentioned a ratio. So I was
Sure.
really interested on your opinion or like, like what you thought about that. I don't necessarily follow that ratio, and I find that usually by the end of a game it like balances out like by itself.
Uh
Um, so I don't worry about the ratio too much, especially if we won. So
yeah. So wait, I love what you just said. That is kind of my whole mentality on this. I ultimately don't really ever check that stat. I sometimes check it more as like a laugh when I know I'm healing a lot and I'm like, oh my God, I'm at like 80% healing or something. And it's just like LOL. But I don't check it as any sort of like North Star. It when I think about like and I love that we're talking about this. So this is actually a very theoretical gameplay review so far, which I like that we're talking about these big themes. And I wanted to quickly preface like what I'm about to say is like no shade to other people who make videos or anything like that. I personally think this whole culture that has been developed around like we need 60/40 or 70/30 damage boost is ultimately what is largely holding back a lot of people from climbing and is kind of this like pervasive myth, and I think really needs to stop. And so no shade against people. I understand everyone, even people who are making videos are trying to help other people, like hence why I make
Mhm.
videos. But in my experience from playing the game for a really long time and not consuming, I don't like watch videos about like how to get better at Mercy, especially at this stage. Like I don't really need to, but I would say I I I think it's very very important to try to just do whatever you need to do to win. And so I recommend instead of thinking anything about the beam ratio, think about like what is happening in front of me and like calculating kind of what you need to do. So do you mind if I let this run for a second and I'm going to
Yeah,
talk
no, you're
through
good.
what I want to explain. Um let's go back to you. I'll just like talk out loud for a little bit while this is happening so you can get my sense of like what I'm thinking about. So I'm observing Mizuki needs healing, Genji needs healing, so I'm swapping flash
Yeah,
healing.
I lost my
Beautiful.
Genji there. That's why
Nice.
my camera went like that.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, this is great. I'm just gonna talk through everything so you kind of get a feeling for like what I'm talking about. So I'm not thinking anything like, oh, I really need a damage boost. Like, I'm not damage boosting enough. No, it's literally like Zarya is dying, I need to heal her. Zarya is dying, I need to heal her. Bastion's
Right.
dying, I need to heal him. And then it's over. But I really think you just have to react to every sort of situation with like what is happening in front of me, not so much like by any sort of rules. And I think a lot of people struggle to climb out of low ranks because they are afraid to heal because they've been told healing is bad on Mercy. And I think it's
Mhm.
like the biggest myth that needs to be unraveled. It's like such a problem. So I really think and people are afraid of having this identity of being like a heal bot, right? Like, have you heard that term before?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's like, oh, I'm not a heal bot. Like I know I lost, at least I had 70-30 damage boost ratio. And I think ultimately, and I'll close my little like rant or like monologue in a second, but like ultimately this whole damage boost ratio thing is kind of cope for like not actually getting better at the game. Because I think it's like what I think it kind of comes down to is a lot of people, even if they're still in bronze, silver, gold, plat, like aren't climbing to the ranks that they want to climb to, are being conditioned through like these videos and like this culture that Mercy mains have of like saying I'm not a heal bot and like all this stuff to not adjust their gameplay to like what is going on in the moment and are afraid to like heal a lot and because of like this like shaming effect of like heal botting and just in general without getting into like sociology and or psychology and stuff but like shame is like
Mhm.
one of the least effective things of like getting people to change things like gay people know that the best and stuff like that. Like you can't like shame a gay person into not being gay or like unless you like are
Right.
insane with like how much you do it to like psychologically abuse them. Yeah, shame doesn't really work. So, anyways, like instead we need to like shift how we like have this like culture to really it's okay if you're healing a lot and to be honest sometimes
Mhm.
you do have to heal a lot on mercy to get value. It
Yeah.
just depends on the game and this is a game where you need to heal a lot, right?
You
so
call it?
so any last questions about that? Otherwise let's keep it rolling. I want to give you some good like actionable tips on different things like happening in game, but any other questions about that one?
No. Actually, I really like that answer.
Okay,
It
cool.
would make gameplay so much easier, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Feeling more powerful? Activating healing stream.
So good job healing here. I think you're doing a really good job. I think the Ram swap is going to help you guys a lot.
Eyes on the
Ram
sky!
is much tankier.
I am empowering you.
As he dies, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry, just I'm gonna quickly pause. Unfortunately, I feel like your tank is just like dying so much. It's really hard to like get stuff going. But I'm gonna keep it running because for this to be 25 minutes, you guys must cap and keep going. So I'm just gonna kind of let it go. I think a lot of what's happening so far is just like your tank kind of exploding,
Healthy
and
body, healthy mind.
there's like not a lot we can do about that with this comp, which we've covered. So let's just like let it run a little bit
Someone
because
call
I
a
do want to get to a
healer.
point where you guys start to win, where it's not because your tank is just like beating every fight.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions like, oh, I noticed did this, just jump in, but I'm probably gonna just like add some commentary over the top.
Let me take a look.
Nice job healing. Okay, so right here, try to get to Genji if you can. It's hard and it's
Okay.
okay right now. Yeah, don't worry. Your tank did need healing there. Heal Genji, nice. Out of Valkyrie, nice.
I will not let you fall.
Okay, great. So you might feel like, oh, I Valked and like nothing's really happening right now.
Mhm.
Um, I might also be presumptive, but like presuming that like you maybe feel that way, but I know you only got like 4 seconds of value from it, but really that fight was feeling like it could go either way, and that was your guys' last fight. So you really want to lock in that win, right? Or like that fight win, because
Right.
like the what how do you say the punishment or whatever for not winning the fight, like the downside is so much greater than like, oops, I accidentally overulted a little bit, right? Because you'll get Velk back in like a minute.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lose, you guys are on defense now. So Yeah, it's definitely good to like within reason try to commit enough ult where you know you're gonna end up locking in that fight win. So I like the Valk, so that was great.
This will just take a moment.
Objective A captured. Escort.
All right, great. We were able to cap first point. Nice. Your Genji had a really good blade. In
Yeah.
general, I'll say, and this is why I made a comment about try to get to your Genji if you can.
Got the payload
Mhm.
moving.
Mercy's main value comes from enabling targets to be aggressive or take positions or do things that they like otherwise couldn't without her like consistent beam support. So a lot of the time you can kind of think of yourself on Mercy as like a little movable around on a nano boost. And so if you kind of think about yourself that way, that's like really if you boil down the math of like what Mercy is, she's kind of like a flexible like less powerful nano boost that you like shift around to different characters. That's like kind of what it boils down to. And so you want to like always keep in mind and so checking the leaderboard can be helpful like if you want to keep in mind who has ult, like who's about to like do something. And it can help you be proactive so you'll position in spots or even be ready for like maybe you don't change your positioning, but you're at least ready for like when Genji like goes in for his blade because you're like, okay, I checked ahead of time and I can like help him get max value out of this, right? So
Right.
that's why I was saying, like, if you can try to get to Genji in that fight before, it ended
Mhm.
up not working out because like your tank just was dying. So I'm glad you just stuck with your tank and like healed him. But um say your tank was like full HP and you had checked before that like Genji had all, you would have been like a little bit more prepared. I'm not saying you weren't, but I'm just saying in some hypothetical situation in the future when you're playing with your two stack and or three stack and like um one of them has ult, you'll be even more ready for like to pocket that and you want to put your
Right.
like mini nano blade or nano boost on him. So yeah. And right here, okay, so what you need to do here, and this is a really good example. This is not a Mercy tip. This is actually just an Overwatch tip in general.
Yeah.
When I first started playing, I was gold, and I felt like when my team would push up like this, they're like feeding, right? Like, why are they doing this? Like it's so annoying. Like they're just dying, and like I can't help them. We're trying to put three people on cart. Like we wanted to push. Um, Sometimes that's true. I will say most of the time it is best practice to actually push up as a team and leave one person on this cart, okay? I
Okay.
see your whole like three stack is kind of like hanging out back here. And what that's allowing, and this is like of everything I've taught you so far, I think this is actually is like a really, really big tip. Like maybe one of the number one or two tips I've given you so far to keep in mind is like Overwatch, a lot of it is like fight planning. And so we're getting into like the strategic element here, but like what they're doing here essentially, if this is executed right, if you've got like four people up here, say it's like you and Bastion went up here with your team, you are essentially making space for this cart to push all the way up here without having to win a fight, right? All you have to do here is kind of like spar with them. You know what I mean? Like you don't actually have to like
Right.
fully commit. It seems like you guys actually got a kill, so it would even be like a 4v4, which is even a better chance you might just fully win the fight. But you kind of just have to like hold the space. And like the icon actually would go like almost all the way up here. You would win so many fights versus this thing, this like kind of a myth. Like in theory you want the payload to push quickly, so you want to put everyone on it, right? But
Right.
putting one person on and like holding the space so it consistently moves all the way up here is typically a better strategy than putting three people on and like I don't know, just like sitting on cart and waiting because they're gonna walk all like imagine these two weren't here. You're all five just on the cart. They're gonna all run up here, and by the time your cart gets to like I don't know, maybe like right here, they're gonna be able to like fight you again, right?
Yeah, like set up right there.
Yeah, they're gonna like probably the fight will happen like right here if you were all on this cart, right? By the time they get back and everything. So it would probably happen like right here. Versus you can ensure the fight happens like all the way up here or potentially walk this thing almost all the way in if you guys just like hold this corner here with your team. And I know, yeah, wait, sorry. Do you have any questions about what I'm explaining?
No,
Okay,
it
okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, so right here, I think there's like a really big mistake happening, just to like call it out, is you and Bastion walking back to the cart. They need healing, especially from Mercy, and
Mhm.
just this might be a little bit of like a just trust me on this, but Mercy you typically don't want to leave on cart. So I actually think it's good that Mizuki's on cart right now. I find Mercy actually kind of excels in these situations where it's like, okay, we've got one person on cart and I'm kind of like solo healing up here or something like that. I think Mercy's actually pretty good at situations like this. So I would just come up here, heal your Genji, heal your Ram. Your Bastion should be here too, like blasting this Rhine shield while your other person like pushes all the way up. And that'll really enable all of this to happen. And so I would highly recommend you uh push up with your team after you win a fight, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
Improving your vitals.
And you do end up doing it. It's a little delayed and it would be nice if
Yeah.
Bastion was here too. Oh, wait, I got the wrong 3-stack. Or wait, did I? Is Genji on your 3-stack?
No. Bastion and Mizuki.
Oh, okay, wait,
Because I
never mind.
remember, I think in this area, I thought, oh wait, there's two supports on cart.
I'm at the height
Those
of
two
my
up there are
powers.
definitely gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. But what they're doing is actually really powerful because look how far the card is getting. We're fighting all the way over here. I know no one's winning or losing, but you are still your whole goal in Overwatch, and this is kind of what it comes down to. I think it's like a really big unlock for people is like ultimately your goal on offense is to push the cart as far as you can or like to cap as many objectives, whatever it is in the particular mode. And then on defense, it's to like prevent them from pushing. And everything that's happening is like ladders up at different levels to that happening. It's kind of like butterfly effect. So like when you heal your Ramatra here to full HP, that's like at a very low rung of like getting you to win the game, right? And then it like kind of ladders up to like, okay, because I healed Ramatra, we're able to like keep the cart or like we're able to like hold this corner or something like that. And because I hold this corner, the cart can keep pushing without them being able to like touch it, right? And so it's pushing for free this whole time. And the longer it pushes for free, the more likely we are to push it really far. And the more likely we are to push it really far, the more likely we are to win. So it's like all these things that you do are ultimately in service of like, yeah, I want it to go as far as possible. And so yeah, as much as you can on Mercy, like enabling people to push up, be aggressive, stuff like that is gonna really help. See, I'm just showing you right now, this cart is still pushing and Ryan still hasn't touched it. Now he's finally touching it. So you guys got
Right.
it all the way up here. Whereas if you had sat on cart, I genuinely think you would have had to like fight back here way earlier. So, okay. I've really beat a dead horse with that one, I feel like.
No, it makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Because
Yeah.
usually, because I'm pretty sure, like, exactly what you said, like, that's what we were thinking in that moment, like, they're feuding.
Yeah. I love how you're rezzing behind natural cover there. Let me just say, great job. I know it sounds so simple, like, because like it's not a big deal. But even when it's super safe, you should always try to res behind natural cover. Crazy like shit is happening. Like Widow will randomly like hit you in the head, and you're like, oh my god, like we literally lost that fight because of me. And so I always encourage people to, like, whenever you can, just always do it the right way. And
Right.
so yeah, props for you for doing that. Okay, right here, I would recommend, to be honest, I think I would maybe Velk right now. And I don't know if you're
Okay.
about to, but I highly encourage right when it feels like the fight is like kind of starting, which to me, it feels like it is. We've got them lining up here. We've got us lining up here. We are literally exchanging fire. And we're about to like start rounding this corner. I want my full chain beam on everyone, and I want all 15 seconds of that value. And so Mercy's ult, maybe you've heard this in other videos, but I'll explain it again, is like very weak. Like, of all the support ults, compared to like DPS or something, okay, maybe Mercy's is like stronger, but relative, we're only talking like relative in the support category. Mercy's
Mhm.
is a very weak ult. I would go so far as to say I think it might be the weakest. The reason being is the value it's providing at any given second, I think is the weakest of any support ult. Because it's just like it doesn't give like over health, it doesn't like make people immortal, it doesn't whatever. It's just kind of like making her stuff AoE, like hit people in like an area of effect and let her fly. Like, okay, like okay, great, I can fly. So it's just not like super powerful. And so the way you get value out of it is literally math. Like a lot of this just kind of boils down to math. And so if we accept that this is a low impact at any given second ult, but it lasts 15 seconds, what I ultimately want, if you can max out the value of this ult, would be to keep my healing or damage beam on all four of my other people for 15 seconds, right? Like that is like maxing it out and doing it at a time where like my team is actually doing something and like taking damage or doing damage or something, right? So like you wouldn't want to just do it when there's no fight happening because you could still get it on four, but you're not healing any or damage boosting anything. It's just you're not even fighting. But so that's why you don't
Right.
want to do it too early. But I genuinely think most people, like 99% of people, do not Valk too early. What they're doing is Valking way too late. And so I think Valk right now, it's like a snowballing ult. Like it helps your team get into the fight safely. Might have even prevented that death. Um, yeah, at this stage, not worth Valking anymore, but
Yeah.
it really helps you, like, I always put it this way, but like it really helps you snowball into a fight so that your team feels safe and able to walk up and all of that sort of stuff.
I'm at the height of my
Um,
performance.
Okay. By
yeah.
snowball, what do you mean?
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
By snowball, what do you mean?
Yeah, so think of it like, wait, by chance, do you live in like a snowy area?
I live in Florida.
Okay. Have you ever been to a snowy place before?
No.
Okay, that's okay. So there's like something. So I'm from the Midwest. It snows a ton there. So essentially,
Okay.
like, um, a common thing. Maybe people who are watching will relate to this, but like a common thing, or maybe even in TV shows you've seen this. Like when you make like a snowman or something, you kind of have to like roll the snow and like pack it, and then you like keep rolling it, and it gets like bigger and bigger and bigger. Or like in like cartoons, you'll see like I don't know, like the snowball will like get bigger and bigger because they're like rolling it against the ground, and it just like because it's growing over time, it's getting to like such a big size. It's becoming almost like this massive boulder. Like, have you seen that in film or something before?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
I know what
okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm describing here. And so when you Velk early, what you're essentially doing is like very, very minor buffs to everyone, but because you're minorly buffing them over time, you are like, how do I put it? Like exponentially increasing like the safety and like allowing everything your team's doing to like compound. And so, um, I'm trying to explain, but like essentially you're like like greasing the wheel, like or greasing whatever. You're like just making like the whole thing works more smoothly so that like your team can grow into the fight, kind of like a snowball. So you guys start off as like a little snowball and then you end as like a big one because you got all 15 seconds of that value. Other people were able to like safely get to their ults. They're not like whiffing them when they're like 1 HP because you're velking early and like sustaining everyone. So it's ultimately kind of just like you're helping to grow your team's power over the entire 15 seconds. Whereas let me I think the better way of explaining is to like explain what's not happening. You're not doing something like a Lucio ult where he ults and suddenly everyone is invulnerable on your team. Like that it's not like you're instantly converting a snowball into like a boulder, right? That's kind of like what
Right.
Lucio's ult does, or like Zenyatta's ult. Hit like instantly everyone's invulnerable. No, no, no. Mercy's ult is like taking it from a snowball to a boulder over 15 seconds, right? So that's kind of just the concept. Sorry if it's confusing, but hopefully that made more
No, I
sense.
get what you're saying.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go back really quick. Sorry. Oh,
Okay.
oh my god. Jeez. I think sorry. Sometimes it does that for like a millisecond. I think this Overwatch servers, this is the last couple times I streamed it did this too. I think they're like the game's a little messed up right now. We're in these like transition states. Sometimes it's like really lagging. And so I haven't seen that in the replay before, but that was like kind of crazy. Sorry if that hurt your ears.
No, it was kind of scary. I'm like, oh my god, what happened?
I thought my game was crashing, right? Like that's something that would happen like when your game
Right.
crashes. Okay, I just want to go back and watch this again. I was going to recommend to you, and I don't want to get you in a bad habit, but I will say when you are against heroes, for example, I talk about this in my streams sometimes, just like when it's happening. It's very situation dependent, but like against like Reinhardt or like Doomfist or trying to think like who else, but like, or like Junkrat, like things that like primarily are hitting people around like the ground. I actually think it's very powerful to chain super jump in the air, but in a safe way. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because right here you get shattered. If you were doing like a super jump and kind of like sitting in the air right here with your movement. And this is kind of an advanced thing. I'm just calling it out. This is not the main thing I need you to focus on or anything, but just something to keep in mind if you want to keep working on this like months after this is you would never have gotten hit by this shatter if you were like just sitting in the air a little bit against him because all of his like swings and his ults are so like I use the term like ground bound, so you can just if you just don't you just like hover like off the ground a little bit up here, or if say if, like in a situation like maybe Genji was up here, you come sit with him here. It really does help against certain heroes. So you like pretty much they're like no threat to you anymore. You like nullify them as a threat. And so because you are like using vertical mobility and yeah, verticality to like your advantage against them. So I just called it out because you do get hit here. And um in theory you can also super jump to react to this quickly, but that's like takes a lot of practice. A lot of the time, if you're just like imagine you're like up here, or sitting here, or just like I can show you in the practice range before we end this, but there's a way you can chain your super jumps um in a responsible way where you're not like peeking like Widow or something, but you will just never get hit by something like this. I'm just calling it out. Yeah. I'll talk more about it later, but it makes it easier so you guys don't all like end up on the floor and
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, did you end up Velking after that? Let's watch this one more
I
time.
did.
Let me see. I just want to see everything that happens. This is a hard one because they weren't fully dead yet, but ultimately this is not a good use of your ult. So this is kind of like I would describe as like you tried to use Zenyatta's ult here. Like this is you tried to like instantly heal everyone to full HP, right? The problem is Mercy's ult, and this is like going back to what we were talking about at the very, very start with Zarya too. Ultimately, Mercy's ult like or Mercy's like hit doesn't really work like that. Like it's like either you had the beam on them to start with and you like are offsetting a lot of the damage they're taking before they get to low HP and you're saving them that way, or you're like too late is kind of how her kit works. Her ult is not like a big burst of like, oh my gosh, we all got like 1,000 shield or we all got like 1,000 heals and now we're like safe. No, it's still only doing like 60 per second. So all you really did here, and this isn't to I mean this just like in a purely like mathematical way, is all you really did
Mhm.
here with this all is like make Mercy fly and then like
Right.
put beam on both of them, but they still both ended up dying because like she was only doing probably only gotten like 10 heals before they died. So that's why I always encourage people like Mercy's ult isn't really like a defensive ult. It's like try to use it at the start of a fight. It's meant to like uh I won't go in this whole monologue again, but it's like meant to like help your team work into a fight, if that makes sense.
Okay. I feel like I play my life really often. So I feel like that's what also I feel like that's another reason why I ulted. That
60
way like the
seconds
Reinhardt wouldn't
remaining.
kill me.
Hmm. So yeah, is the question like, is that worth it? Like, is that are you saying, are you just like commenting?
I'm really commenting, but like when it comes to like playing your life on Mercy, um, how do you feel about that? I don't know how else to ask that question.
Yeah, so I think you want to play safe. Like the way I would think about this is it actually boils down to a very simple rule. Um, in general, 95% of the time, you're playing your life, doing what you need to do on Mercy, um, in a way that's like contributing value to the team, like all of that. You're being valuable on Mercy when you are doing these two things. One, you are standing in a spot where you can look around and enable and like get to your team easily. For most people, even people who are in lower ranks by like gold or plat, they tend to know how to do that, right? Like they tend to know, okay, I kind of need to stand in the middle so I can move my beam around to different people, right? Like they kind of
Mhm.
get like, okay, I don't want to like stand, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like for example, like you wouldn't want to like right now be standing like right here because like you're just too far away to like put your beam on Ramatra and like Genji's all the way over there. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you're just not like supporting your team, so you're not like providing value. What people tend to struggle with, and this is I'm answering your like getting to like answer your question here now, is the second part of this, which is what differentiates people in like plat, diamond, masters, gm, is you also need to stand in spots where you like deny access to the enemy team, and that's where this gets like way harder when you have to think about like where's the enemy team standing, like what is their incentives, like what heroes are they on, how can they punish me. And as the game gets faster and more dynamic and like you're trying, here's a really great example of like you're trying to pocket someone without dying, right? You are
Mhm.
doing an excellent job of that in this situation. Let me put it that way. You're on high ground, so you were like pretty much denying Reinhardt, for example, any way of hitting you. You could have also chosen, right, to stand here to do this, right?
Mhm.
But you chose up here. You like at any point you can just jump off and run right here, but like that would be bad, right? Because they can all
Yeah.
hit you. So you're in your mind you're doing some sort of like balancing calculation between like how can I best help Genji here without also getting like exposed to all their damage. And so that's kind of how I think about like playing your life. Like I don't, if you die pocketing Genji here, excuse me, but he gets like 3 kills, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
This kind of goes back to the damage boost ratio thing. These are like what's like trophy metrics. They're not actually changing things. Like ultimately, if you die in Mercy, but you made a good play, you like enabled something to happen, and you ended up dying because maybe Genji overextends a little bit, and unfortunately you have to die, but you're helping him to get his ult off. That is a good play, and like you don't have to like always survive on Mercy. Like you don't rank up in Overwatch because you have 2 deaths on Mercy per 10. However, I will say there's a high correlation between having low deaths and climbing, but that's usually because you're just like positioning in spots like this and like being smart. Um, did
Okay,
that answer
question.
your question?
Yes, because I feel like when I play Mercy, especially because like with this session in particular, I was like, wow, I'm like dying a lot.
Okay.
And I feel like I should have been more focused on like why I was dying versus like just like the number. Like I feel like I'm too focused on numbers and not like actually like what I'm doing to like help my team.
Yeah, I think a really powerful unlock, and I get the sense that like a lot of people who are like in maybe like bronze through plat, even diamond, are really, really focused on my beam ratio, my I don't know, damage boost amount, like things like that, my death number. Ultimately, and this is I know this sounds so weird, but like it's kind of more on vibes. It's like, am
Right.
I enabling things to happen? At the end of the day, if you are not like healing enough and you are dying too much, like those are probably the two numbers I would care about. If you're gonna like look at any numbers of I am being successful here, I am helping my team, it would be for me if I could choose, it would be like having low deaths and high healing. And ultimately, I end most of my games with like it kind of depends, but sometimes I'll end the game with like 800, 700 damage boost. And that's okay. Like we probably won that game. A lot of the time when you're like thinking about what actually drives outcomes, I think on Mercy, the uncomfortable reality is most of the time it's like, are you healing your team at like a high rate and like switching
Mhm.
your beam around and being super efficient with that? Like that probably accounts for like 80% of the skill that there is to Mercy. And it's kind of a sensitive topic that people don't want to, or maybe people don't realize. Um, but yeah, that's kind of a lot of where the skill comes from. And then damage boost is kind of this like nice to have extra you do when everyone doesn't need healing. And so I would kind of like change your frame of reference to think about that. And then also just always think about like, how can I do something with my beam? Like to get to the core of your question, you're kind of asking like, how do I focus less on these like vanity stats and more on like winning and like getting value out
Right.
of Mercy? And it essentially just boils down to thinking very proactively about like at any given second, what is like the most valuable thing I can be doing on Mercy here? And you did a really good job. Let's go back like 20 seconds, and I think this highlights it really well. I learned through examples. I know everyone, not everyone does, but I think this is a really good example of how you notice this. So right now, the most valuable thing you can do on Mercy right here is, and wait for it, you're seeing Genji push up, and you realize, so you could choose here to like look back at Ramatra. You could try to like take your gun out and shoot Lifeweaver. Like you have like infinite things you could do right now. Instead, you're doing a mental calculation. Okay, Genji is pushed up really far. Genji is taking space, which again is like ultimately what Mercy's job is to do, enable people to take space. Like if I summarize it in one short phrase, it's like Mercy gets value when she is enabling targets to take space and do things they otherwise like couldn't. And so you
Right.
are enabling that right now. And this is a moment where like Mercy really shines. Keeping him full HP, you're allowing him to like go ham in their back line. You're still enabling him right now. You're a little bit out of position, but that's okay. Ultimately, you enabled him to like get, I think, 2 kills here. He got their Mizuki and wait, did he just get Bastion too? Oh, or, I don't know what just happened. But I think he also. Oh wait, that's your team. Sorry. He got their Mizuki and he got their Bastion, and so you're kind of, I'm not gonna say unsung hero, but like, because Genji did do all that, but like,
Mhm.
you're enabling that to happen, and then you kind of, okay, now that I did that, immediately my mind swaps to, okay, what can I do now to like get as much value out of Mercy's beam as I can? So I think going back to this thing around like, oh wait, hold on, I want to watch this, but going back to this thing around like Mercy is a mini nano boost, and I am moving this nano boost around my teammates is like the ultimate form of like how this boils down to like how to play on vibes and not care about vanity stats. Sorry, that was long.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Let me fix you up. My duty is being done. Enhancing your strength.
Right here, we're a little too close. You end up getting out, so that's good. So, okay, I want to talk you through my res checklist.
Okay.
So when you go for a res, there are like 3 main things you need to think about. The first thing, and I'm gonna lump, there's like kind of 4, but I'm gonna lump the first 2 into one. So the first thing you would think about when you go for a res is, am I going to die or am I going to get interrupted? So for example, like hacked or like booped away or something like that. So it's things that concern you, right? Like things that concern you when you go for a res. So when I go for this res, or when
30
I'm thinking
seconds
about this,
remaining.
I want to think about, how is the enemy going to impact me? Am I going to die? Am I going to get it canceled? Stuff like that. You basically like don't consider that at all. And so I just see, like, you can see what happens. You just go straight
Right.
for it. It's kind of like thinking, literally, if you've seen those things in real life where it's like the bug zapper, like when they see the bright light and they like fly to it and then they like get zapped and die. That's
Yeah, like a
kind of like,
beeline towards it.
that's like literally what is happening here. Like we have a moth flying to a bright light and getting zapped by the enemy team. So we kind of are watching like a real life National Geographic thing. And so
Mhm.
um that is like the point of the first like rule on the checklist. And you obviously aren't doing this in your head the entire time, but you're kind of thinking through a general vibe. I'm going back to vibes, but you're doing a general vibe check on like, am I gonna die or get interrupted here? Like, do they, if they have like Lucio or Sombra, especially, like I'm really thinking like, is she gonna hack me? Like, or is she like dead or is she busy or something? When you start to think through these things, and I know it's probably sounds like a lot, like they've got 5 people I have to think through, and you have to make a quick decision. It's kind of a lot, but the more you practice just thinking about it a little bit, you'll get so much better, and you'll be able to make split-second decisions. So am I gonna die? Am I gonna get interrupted? You violate that rule there, it's a bad res, right? That means it's a bad
Mhm.
res. The second rule, I'm just gonna go through them quickly, but these are more complicated ones, but important to talk about too. For example, say, actually I think it's also happening here, so this is another good example, but your bastion is dying. You don't want to go for a res when someone else on your team without your healing is going to die. Okay, so what happens here is
30
he
seconds
takes
remaining.
damage and you just end up leaving him to go for the res. And essentially your best case outcome here, because he's gonna get smacked by Reinhardt a few times here, is your best case outcome is you get the res, you live, so you brought one person back, but Bastion died, right? So that's a 1-for-1.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas if you wait this out and heal him, you at least guarantee, or well, in theory, right? Every situation depends on things, and like, okay, maybe he'll still die, but let's just keep this math simple. Let's assume with your healing, Bastion stays alive here. You secured a 1-for-0, and Ramatra's able to walk back with a shorter revive timer than Bastion will have after he slowly dies here from Reinhardt, right? So watch what I'm talking about here. Quick pause. Oh, actually, the way the game works, it like made them line up. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. Do you get what I mean? So Ramatra was closer to reviving. Bastion just
Okay.
died. His would have started like here. Do you see my cursor?
I do not see your cursor.
Oh shoot. Okay, sorry. Um, see how Bastion just got like his revive timer, and yours too are matching Ramatra's now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't always work like that. It's like a change they made a while ago. So sometimes it's a whole math thing, but like sometimes they will sync them. But can you imagine like if Ramatra was closer to reviving and Bastion dies later? How do I explain this? Like, actually, this is such a complicated concept. Let me just back up again. Oh no, it's doing that thing. um so let me just pause and think for how to explain this. Like, Ramatra died first, right?
Right.
So if you just think on like a timeline, if Bastion dies much later, let's say like 5 or 6 seconds later, because you go for the res on Ramatra, say you revive him, you still have to wait like that extra 6 seconds for Bastion to get back, right? Because his death timer started 6 seconds later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That's probably the best way to explain it. Um, it weirdly isn't happening in this exact situation, but just sometimes it does. Um, and so that's why I'm trying to explain. It's better to like keep people who are alive currently in the fight because you don't have to wait that extra period for them to get back. You are actually like keeping more active people engaged in the fight. So the second rule is like, don't let people die on your team who you otherwise could have saved by going for a res. Does that make sense? It's okay if not.
Could you say it one more time?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry. I think it's like kind of hard to explain, but basically like let me just get to the point of like what you probably need to take away. Don't let people die if you could have saved them before you go for the res. So let me show you one more time here. So Ramatra's fighting, Ramatra's getting low. Hold on, I'm just keeping the camera here. I know it's gonna move back over. All right, Ramatra's dying here now. You go for the res, but see how Bastion needs help? Like,
Yeah.
because you're violating like both the first and second rule that I'm talking about. So you don't want to go for a res if you don't know how it's gonna affect you, right? Because you're gonna like die or get interrupted. But you also don't want to go for this res because Bastion really needs healing right now. And he, if you were healing him, I think might have lived this and could have even killed Reinhardt, right?
Yeah.
So you actually, by doing this, are causing yourself to die, not getting the res on Ramatra, killing Bastion, and not killing Reinhardt. Do you see how like actually all four things of those are happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a domino effect.
Yes. And so if you had, for example, let me give you like, so what do I do about it, right? Like I'm kind of calling out like, okay, that wasn't good, but what do I do about it? If you just heal and like, I don't know if you had flash heal, let's say you do. If heal, flash heal Bastion here, he'll get the kill on Reinhardt. And because you've got 3 people here now, or like imagine it's you, Bastion's still alive here, Reinhardt dies, so you saved Bastion, killed Reinhardt. That's already like a 2 for 0, or like kind of like a 1 for 0 actually. Yeah, you saved Bastion in this hypothetical world where you like healed him, and then you killed the Reinhardt. You now have 3 of you here. You, Bastion, and Mizuki, right? You're aligned with me on that?
Mhm. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, got it. Sorry. I know this is like very imaginative, but then it actually makes it much, much easier for you now to push up with Genji here and go for the res on Ramatra. You might even get the res, okay? So if you do this in the right order, where you follow the checklist, you might actually still get the original res. Do you get my point here?
Right.
Yeah, a lot of the time if you follow this checklist, like don't res if you're gonna die or get interrupted. That's the first thing we talked about. The second is heal your teammates before you go for the res, because it often creates the conditions that make the original res that was like you would have died or get interrupted. Now you won't, because you have all this pressure from your team on the enemy team. That sometimes becomes true now. Like you can go for it. So a lot of the time, if you just like don't go for the res right away, you can go for it later. And then the third one is like, this is an aside, but I'll just finish the checklist. But don't go for the res if they're gonna die right after. A lot of the time, people in lower ranks, like even if the fight's like a 2v5, it's like you and Bastion against 5 of them, for example, they'll still res the Bastion right in front of them, and then he'll just die again. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last part. But I think this is like such a important moment. I'm so glad we caught this here. Like you literally could have swung this entire fight if you didn't go for the res. Do you understand like how I explained the domino thing?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I ever considered that, like, healing your whole team before going for a res. I don't think that was one thing I ever really, like, thought of before.
Yeah. And I want to be super clear. There's like obviously it depends on the situation.
Mhm.
You kind of it's not like heal every single person to full HP before you go. It's more just kind of the sense of like, is everyone safe? And then if everyone is safe, then you go for the res. But if so like let me walk you through, because this is the exact scenario I'm trying to explain. Like I'm so glad this is in your game. Because like I dream of explaining this to people like this in other reviews. So this is like the perfect example. I want to get it right. So Ramatra dies. You see on your screen, let's just talk through like moment by moment, like how you should have handled this. So you can like, ultimately, I don't care about this game. I care about like the next 1,000 games you're gonna play, right? So let's talk through like
Right.
this is happening next game.
Call it.
I see Reinhardt is charging Bastion. That is like fully on my screen. I have that information to work with, right? So what we should probably do here, I know you're kind of starting your GA, but you should probably try to like GA to the side here. Look back at Bastion here. He's gonna
30
take
seconds
damage.
remaining.
I want to put my beam on him. I don't want him to die, right? Because we kind of agreed that like it's a bad idea to let someone on your team die just to get someone rezzed, right?
Right.
Okay. So we want to protect Bastion. So I would have like stood here, deny access to other people on their team. This is typically a pretty good spot to stand in, like right here. Because if she wants to shoot you, she's gonna have to like be really aggressive, and then hopefully your team will shoot them back. So anyways, this is a pretty good spot to stand in. So I would have canceled my GA, try to like or like use the second part of it to try to fly over here, look at Bastion, put my beam on him right here. He is going to dump his damage into Reinhardt, right? So I'm healing Bastion in theory. We're keeping him like half HP while he gets hit. He's probably like half HP if we're doing this right. He probably would have had enough damage to kill Reinhardt here. So in theory, and again, it's more about like just work with me here on this. Like he probably is alive still. Reinhardt is actually probably dead because we're healing Bastion. And now we've got Reinhardt dead, Bastion alive, Mizuki alive, Genji alive. Like this all becomes super winnable. And then, oh, after we probably kill the Sierra, I can res behind cart like right here. Okay. Does that make sense? That chain of events of like how I'm
Yeah.
describing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and I think that is such a big unlock. When I first started playing, I was gold, and I would always go for the reses just like what you're doing. So this is not like weird behavior. This is like pretty standard for anyone who is like bronze, silver, gold, maybe even plat. I think having this unlock of like I am valuable alive on Mercy, and I do not have to be a hero always and go for these reses is like really, really helpful. To condition yourself to like not fly like a bug into one of these traps and like blow up and die, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about that?
No. Now that you've broken it down, it does make sense. Especially because I don't necessarily know what that res would have done there. Um,
On the
especially because my
Ramacho.
Bastion died. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been for one for one. I mean, look, I'm the biggest proponent of saying like try to get reses on tanks. Res on tank is really, really strong. This goes back to what I said at the start. Like unfortunately, like as an Overwatch rule, if you don't have a tank and they do, it's very, very difficult to win the fight. And then vice versa.
Right.
If they don't have a tank, like it's I don't know, it's exciting times for your team because like okay, we get to run at them. Um, but so I understand why you're going for this. Like it's not like you're doing something dumb. Like it's like, okay, I want to res my tank. Like my tank's really important. I need him. But I think unfortunately we're just overlooking that like it's a dangerous res and unfortunately our Bastion's taking a lot of damage and I want to save my Bastion to create safer situations and like before I can go for this res. Is kind of how I would think about that. So I'm gonna keep it going just because we do have to keep moving, but I hope that made sense.
No, it made sense.
Well,
Mercy in the
10
hunter.
seconds remaining.
Our time is running out.
and after this round, I'm gonna write down some notes.
Okay.
Okay, quick comment. Really good job playing behind natural cover here. I know you weren't even like hugging it or anything like that, but just by not peeking when you don't have to, like just because you're kind of standing in the spot, like a lot of people on Mercy will try to play standing like right here. They want to see everything that's happening, be really close to their team. Like this is a very good spot to stand in. You literally don't get shattered because of that. So
Yeah.
just calling it out. Good positioning there. Because of that, you can help your team more. I do think you are, a lot of the time, this is the second time in a row, you just kind of let your Bastion die. Let's watch what happened again. So we see, oh no. Sorry. Let's watch, and then I like put up the thing. But, let's watch slowly. So he's shattering. How do I slow this down? Oh, there used to be a way you could like click on this. Anyway, it's fine. I'm gonna pause it. So right here, he's taking a lot of damage, and we're kind of like forgetting a little bit like object permanence moment where like we're forgetting that Reinhardt is charging him. So because of that, Bastion ends up dying. Like you had flash heal too, so he would have lived this if you had helped him earlier. So I would definitely like try to like keep an eye on when someone's like charging in your backline, I'll say. I think sometimes you're like flying forward and like swapping spots with the person who's charging in your backline, and then you're like literally losing like visual cues that it's happening. And because of
Right.
that, you're like not reacting in time, and because of that, your teammate dies, which is losing you fights. Do you see how it's like all snowballing because of that?
Yeah.
You end up getting the res, which
Yeah.
is good, but it's like kind of happening again. Yeah, you end up being fine, but it's actually happening again in this fight. I'm just gonna show you again, and I'm not trying to. I'm never just like as a rule. I never try to make anyone feel bad. I hope I'm not being a dead
No, I
horse,
get
but
what you're
it
saying.
is happening again right here. We're like not visually seeing, and I guess you're trying to help Genji, which I understand, but ultimately you're not visually seeing that Bastion is dying right here, and so you are. If you think about the math of what's happening, and I think this really helps like kick people a little bit into like realizing that they need to make this change. You are ultimately like healing a full HP Ramatra instead of like healing Bastion. So you are not contributing value to your team right now. Like in theory, you could just be like standing still and not using your beam at all, and it would be the exact same thing that's happening right now, right? So like literally nothing happening right now. Now we're damage boosting, which is helping, but you get my point. Like if we were healing Bastion here, so much more valuable, right? So, and the unlock for this, and this is, how do I say, the big unlock here is like visual information a lot of the time for people, and the way you get the visual information is you are moving your camera a little bit more often, kind of in this sort of motion. Okay, you want to like look behind you and then like all the way back to the front. So if I were you, I would kind of be like turning like this, keeping an eye on Bastion, and then switching it back to the front. Kind of like getting in the habit of doing this sort of motion with your camera is really important. A lot of people, like we're seeing here in the last couple of fights, kind of just like lock onto one target that's in front of them. They don't ever like shift back, okay? So I think if you can try to get in the habit a little bit more of looking around, it'll help you a lot.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that's another problem. Kind of just like never knowing what's going on behind me.
Yeah.
Because I res Bastion, but like I feel like after you resurrect someone, you should definitely probably stay with them a little bit just so they don't die again. Um, but then like I feel like it was also like overtime, so like I want to keep the cart pushing, things like that, or at least make sure that someone was on it.
Yeah. I understand. It's also, let's just like step back here really quick. Like Overwatch is a complicated game. There is like a lot happening at the same time, and um I've played this game for like, I'm guessing 4,000, 5,000 hours and stuff. So I've played a very long time, and for me things boil down into like very simple concepts in my mind, but like for the average person playing, you mentioned you have like a full-time job, like there's a lot happening in this game, and I understand your motives here on like, okay, I'm scared, it's overtime. Overtime means we have to touch the cart. Like, so I'm gonna go up and touch the cart. I totally get your motives, and your intentions. I think like uh, a healthy unlock is like while you're trying to do this, if you can keep this sorry, I'm like probably burning your eyes with all this purple. If you can try to keep turning your camera and like calm, staying calm and just thinking about like who needs help in the moment, like what needs to happen here, what is my job on Mercy. Ultimately, most of the time your job isn't actually to touch the cart, it's to like heal everyone and play in safe spots while they
Mhm.
touch the cart and walk it in. Like I would much rather see you standing maybe like right here so you can like heal Bastion while you heal Genji. Like if you stood right here, like maybe like right here, you actually could put your beam on him and then walk forward a little bit, put your beam on Genji, put your beam on Bastion. See how like you don't even have to move that much to like
Yeah.
go back and forth here. Um, that's like probably the logic that you need to be like thinking about. Like, how do I do my job here? Just think about that at all times. I don't want to overcomplicate things for you. It kind of just boils down to like, just trust me here. Like, just try to like turn your camera a little bit more.
Okay.
Most people are struggling because they're just really staring forward at their beam target too much. And let me skip ahead a little bit. And I'm gonna pause really quick. This is the first time we're taking notes because this is a we have a lot of good stuff we're talking about. So I
Yeah.
am just gonna write a lot of this down, and then in the interest of time, I'll probably let it run for the rest of the video, but I'll talk over everything that's happening. We have already covered like so many really complex
Yeah.
concepts. So
Right.
let me put down start doing this. So I'm just gonna, I know you can't see it right now, but start doing this. Start thinking through um like in every single moment, what is like the number one way that I can provide value to my team. Mercy equals like a mini nano boost that I as the player get to distribute amongst my team, right? So you can either give them the little extra healing from like the nano boost in theory, or the extra damage and you switch off. She really is kind of like a mini nano boost. And yeah, because of that, like you want to think through every moment, what's the one way I can provide value to my team? Often, or actually I'm not gonna say often, like almost, or like as a rule, Mercy is valuable to her team when she is enabling like her teammates to push up, um play aggressively, do things they otherwise like couldn't because of her pocket. And so moving forward, like try to be proactive and look for ways to uh pocket like Genji Blade. You actually do a great job of this on third point offense. Um, and push up with your team to take space after you like cap a point or win a team fight. As we like discussed, taking space with your team and leaving one person on cart often like usually is the right play because you allow the cart to push and you can heal your team members that are uh I guess just like pushed up. Like that's your role in that moment. Okay, so that's the first thing. Like Mercy's like all about like being as like proactive as you can with a hero that is very reactive. It's like as much as you can trying to be proactive, even though a lot of what Mercy does is just react to other things that are happening in the game. So
Right.
that's that. I would say stop doing, or actually sorry, one more thing. Start like looking around more often with your camera in the motion I was showing you, which is essentially uh look forward or like look forward at your pocket target once things have settled a little bit. Look around at the rest of the game to get a sense of like who else might need help, who is behind me, um, am I keeping an eye on everyone on my team? These are like the kinds of questions you want to watch, or like not watch, sorry, like think about. And that'll really help. This will help you have more like visual cues of
Mhm.
what is going on so you can decide on the appropriate response. But right now, you are like denying yourself um, important information to make the right decisions. Yeah, a lot of the reason I think like people who are in lower ranks are there is because they actually are like not fully informed on everything that's happening, and so they'll feel like I feel like I'm doing everything I can, and I'm still losing. Like I can totally understand why people feel that way, but it's like it's because they don't see like, oh, I'm not healing my team and they're dying, and then it's just like, oh no, my team just dies so much. Like I'm not saying this is you, but this is a very common like train of thought for people who are in lower ranks is they'll think like I do everything I can. I feel like I'm like staying alive on Mercy. I'm doing stuff and then like I'm still losing and I'm not able to climb and I'm not deranking, but I'm not climbing. Almost always it's because like they're not looking around enough and they're not realizing like, oh, actually like behind my back, like someone was dying and I let them die or something. So that's a big one. I'm gonna say keep like positioning behind natural cover, especially when you're rezzing. You're doing a really great job of that. Um, Let me think. Yeah, you're doing a really good job. That's like something consistently I'm seeing you do very well with. And then anything I think you should stop doing. Oh, rezzing in the way you are rezzing. Follow or like stop rezzing like a moth, like a literal moth flying to a bright light. Uh, as you can see, it like quite literally got you killed. Like zapped by the enemy team. So like instead, use my res checklist. One, don't res if the enemy or like don't res if let's say more this way. Like if you're going to die or get interrupted by the enemy. So I'm gonna say like look back slash review the res on RAM on third point offense. Instead, use my res checklist. One, don't res if you're going to die or get interrupted by the enemy team. Two, and this is, I really think, a huge, huge unlock for people, but like, don't res if someone else on your team needs help and will live if you help them. You get what I mean? Like, before
Gotcha.
you
Yeah.
res. Yeah. And then finally, for three, it would just be don't res if like the person is immediately going to die after and there's like no way of winning the fight. Like it's just like these like pointless reses that get people killed. Don't do
Right.
those. And I'm not saying you did that. That's just the third part of my checklist.
No, no, I mean, it makes sense. And I mean, for the second part, where you when you added live, like if you help them and like if you know you can help them and they'll live, I feel like that's a really important part to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I do have the mindset, sometimes I do let people die. Because it doesn't seem like I can help them, or like if I help them, I might die kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the that one little part that you added changes a lot, I think.
Yeah. Like there are moments, and this is why I'm adding it. I'm not I, I how do I put this? I think like for you, I would really just start with thinking about like don't resing if you're gonna die or get interrupted by the enemy. Like, that's big. 2, don't res if, like, for example, in that perfect example, like, Bastion is dying. You can literally see how if you just healed him, he would have killed the Reinhardt. You guys would have had so much momentum. Like, the fight totally changes there, like, if you help him instead of going for that res. But yeah, to your point, like, there are moments too where, yes, someone is so far gone, like they are going to die no matter what. Me putting my beam on them for half a second and trying to save them isn't worth the trade-off on, like, if I can get a head start on this res. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I think there are moments, yeah. That's not what I'm talking about in the checklist, and that's a good judgment moment for, like, yeah, if someone's so far gone, I definitely cannot help them, but I can save this person. Okay, I'll take that extra person versus, like, trying to save someone that's so far gone. Okay, I get nothing out of that, right? I probably just die myself.
Right.
Yeah. So to your point, yes. I'm just trying to keep it like with simple building blocks. But you're right. This is all everything depends. It's like Overwatch is such a complex game.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've covered everything in the notes. I am going to let this run probably for the next like 15 minutes and we can discuss as it's happening any questions that are like new. Oh, sorry. Let me switch back to you. But yeah, we've covered a lot of really good concepts. And to be honest, at this point, normally what I find anyway is that
Feeling more power?
the same things just happen over and over. And it's just like, okay, it's that again. Or flash shield. Okay, we're a little late on flash shield there. So, oopsies, wait, let's go back. One more time here. I'm gonna pause it in a second. I like how you're watching for where Reinhardt is coming. And you're able to put your beam on Bastion. But this just goes back to that tip. And trust me, I miss flash shields too. No one is perfect. I'm just giving the advice in this moment. Like trust me, I miss some all the time. But I
Yeah.
think here is a good moment of like we're queuing it too late. I think it's not even queued yet, and he's already that is what 50 it might be like 60 health or something right there. So he is already really, really low. And it's not queued. I can see it's not queued.
Mm.
And so we just try to queue it too late, right? Dies.
I could
This
use
just
some
goes back to the
assistance.
thing around try to do it around when they're like half HP, I would say.
I will not
Yeah.
let you fall.
There's a really good chance there that I might have forgot that I had it.
That
Just
happens to me
because it's so
too.
new.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. The change to base kit is like a really big adjustment, I think, for honestly for everyone. Even people who don't
Yeah.
play Mercy, I think it's like, oh, Mercy's got flash hill now. Nice job flash healing right away there. It's like, why not? It's on a 12-second cooldown. He's low. So I like how you're really pushing up to try to help them.
Heightening your capabilities.
Nice. Good. You can damage boost that, but nice. Good job. Good job, like, taking it off Bastion once you saw Ramacha's getting really low. Like, you're making really good judgment calls. I would maybe Valk. You probably don't have to now, but I would go pocket the Genji Blade. Nice. Perfect. Really good job. You're doing exactly what I'm saying, so. Perfect. Nice flash heal. That's exactly what I would have done as I was literally thinking out loud, so. Good job.
Yeah.
Cute. Cute. I would flash heal here. Or, sorry. Yeah, okay. I accidentally said another thing, but I would Valk and flash heal there. I meant to say Valk, but it turned out you should
Okay.
also flash heal. So, Mercy's ult, in my opinion, is actually very, very good against Sigma's ult. It almost, like, kind of counters it because it also helps you get out of it. So if you Valk right here, you're going to have more... I was a little worried you're going to get picked up here. I'm kind of surprised you didn't. But you would get even more speed to like get out of this. So I would Valk right here. It's also the start of the fight, right? Which is again going back to Valk early. You want to get all 15 seconds out of value out of it. A lot of the time people Valk too late and they like die because they Valk too late. It like enables you to stay alive the whole 15 seconds. It's the whole thing. I already did the whole monologue. You know what I'm about to say. But I think it will help you get out of this. And then it also in general is just a good ult against Sigma's ult because like for everyone who's in this pickup zone, which is uniquely also pretty similar to the range at which Mercy's beam like, you know, moves on to other people, she
Right.
can like kind of nullify it. So it actually is a pretty good counter to this, I would say, because the damage also comes in like 2 different bursts. Like they get picked up and they take a lot of damage, and they get dropped and they take a lot of damage. And because it goes for like a second, like because it's going for a second, you're able to like see you're overhealing some of it. You're able to like offset a lot of the damage so they don't die. But anyways, I would recommend Velk there. The flash heal, I think you actually do a really good job of it. Did you flash heal that? Oh wait, maybe not. Let me see. But try to flash heal like right as they're getting dropped. You want to queue it so it comes in like right away. Yeah, we queue it a little late. It's okay. But do you get what I mean? You can kind of queue it like right before they drop, and it'll land right when they take all that damage and like offset it.
Like sort of similar to like a Suzu.
Yeah, kind of like Suzu. It's basically like the reason why I'm saying you want to do it like right as they're dropping is you want to give them as little of a window where they're like super low HP to die. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so you can do that by queuing it ahead of time with good timing. But when they drop, so they're gonna take like a ton of their, like say like half their health from the drop, and then like if you time it well, oh, like within like a tenth of a second, they'll, or like 2/10, 3/10 of a second, it'll go all the way back up, you know, because they dropped and then immediately got healed. Versus what you did was like you dropped, then queued it. You gave them a little bit more of a window where Bastion could have died, and then you know, once they're 0, you can't heal them anymore. So when you
Right.
give them those windows, you're opening up a lot more risk for them dying. Yeah, this is just a stall moment. Nice, die on point, love it. Not much you can do there.
High hopes for you.
I must return to my post. Checking in.
Objective lost.
Amplifying your power.
Stop the payload.
Let me take a look.
I love how you're helping Genji here. A good way to do this, I would say, is, and this is kind of what I'm talking about with your visual info issue. This is another moment. I know no one's dying here, like no one ended up dying, but I'm trying to let you know for all future games, this will really help, just to call it out. You are kind of like not keeping an eye on your team right now. Like, I think the better way of doing this, and this is the beauty of Mercy's like 360-degree vision. Like you could just be looking like this. You could literally be like staring at the sky right now with your beam attached to Genji. It's still doing the same math. You know what I mean? Like it's still healing him. You might as well keep your beam on someone and look for your next beam target. Like when you get in the habit of doing that, it is so powerful. Because you get faster reaction times, which goes back to what I was just talking about, reduces that risk window of like how long people are spending at low HP, right? If you're, imagine here, let's just say Mizuki is a third HP right now, right?
Right.
Let's just pretend this is like a legitimate thing that could happen. I guess I'm not just making it up. Like he could have taken 2 Sigma shots right here, right? You would actually not know, because if you watch what you're doing, you are like kind of looking at Genji mostly. And so that entire time, Mizuki could have been like a third HP. Whereas I would have loved to have seen you put your beam on Genji like you had it, and then turn back around and kind of like keep doing this motion. Remember, we're back to this motion of like, what's going on with the rest of my team? Okay, back to Genji. What's going on with Genji, or rest of my team? Back to Genji, and like, I don't want to get shot by the enemy, so it's also kind of like keeping an eye out for the enemy. But it's kind of like two modes, like, okay, back to my pocket target and what he's doing with the enemy and like how all the stuff in front of me is affecting me. And then, okay, what's happening behind me? And we're collecting all this info so we can make smart decisions. So yeah, keeping it going there like that will help you. I'm just gonna keep calling it out when it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to stop the payload.
Nice try getting out.
Anyone feel like
The
stopping
second
the
point was kind of
payload?
hard.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
The second point was kind of hard.
Yeah, I guess I'll see what happens here.
Destroy that turret.
I would flash heal ASAP.
I think I actually... No, I did.
Okay. So this is another moment where you just need to Valk this. Oh my god, that bug is so weird. Yeah, this is... can I just say, this is an amazing game to review because... and I hope you appreciate this. There are so many things happening in this game that, like, if you just did it better, like, would have won your team the fight. So this right here, we should be Valking. Like, this is... oh, you don't have it, actually. Sorry. But you should be probably flash healing here. He's, like, pretty low. Flash heal, it might actually get you Valk earlier. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I keep, like, messing that up. But you should be Valking this, like, ASAP. Let's watch this one more time. The reason I'm saying is, like, you're so close to ult. I think the flash heal, I'm almost positive, counts towards your ult too. So if you can flash heal this Ramatra, you might have actually gotten Valk. You can Valk earlier. You should probably Valk there, but instead you die with your ult. Like, imagine you... I'm just gonna do the math for you here, but if you Valk, survive, maybe just fly back a little bit so you don't die right away when you're like 5 HP. Heal up a little bit, heal them, go for this res, or you can check on their health, see how they're doing, heal them, kind of do this motion while you're healing them. Imagine we have our beam on Genji here, we're flying around on Mercy. We didn't die to that. Heal them, wait till they're full HP, then go for this res. You have all 5 people alive, okay? But instead, we kind of like brain turn off and like we're really low here, so you're 45 health. Mizuki died. You still have your Valk, which you can use to try to kind of like safely get away. Like, we are trying to res. We're violating the first part of the checklist. Now your team has no support. I'm curious if they die here. Let's see. But like, imagine you're healing them this entire time. Even if you didn't get the Mizuki res. Yeah, you guys, I think, would have won this fight. Like, this is such a good game to review. Some people, they have games where nothing, they couldn't have changed anything. But if you just didn't feed for that res right there again, like, you guys, I'm almost 100% sure would have won the fight. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I do genuinely think from watching this for so long, you would have won that fight. You would have probably not had as messy of a fight there as well. Like, I think this totally changes what happens in this game, okay? So that's another moment, like, where my decision on Mercy could have changed everything. I think it's good you're not Valking right now. I know I said try to always Valk at the start of the fight, but if your other support Valks, you're not going to want to do that, okay? Typically, you don't want to double support ult, which I think is what you were probably thinking about. Heal your Genji, heal your Genji. Okay, this is another moment. I'm just calling it out again. You are violating res checklist number 2. Let me show you. Genji was like half HP taking damage from Moira. You'll see it in a second. And you just go for the res anyway.
Excellent. Checking in.
Watch. Look, you see what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're so tunnel visioned on the res, right? We're like, oh my god, res, res, res. But we have to be able to just cancel the res and heal Genji right here, okay? Like,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
kind of surprised he doesn't die. I'm not even sure what happened. Oh, maybe the hat bounces from you to him or something. Let's see. Yeah, it bounces and he starts living. But I'm just letting you know, like, say he doesn't have dash, say that hat doesn't come in and bounce. Like, he really, really could have died there. And I think you're just, like, not reacting to that. Do you think you just didn't see it? This is why sometimes it's so nice to have these live reviews. Do you think you didn't see he's low, or what happened there?
I don't think I saw it because even when you said it, I was like, there's a Genji there that was dying, and then you paused it, and I was like, oh my god, there's actually a Genji there.
Yeah. So
Even
sometimes I
in the rewatch,
wonder.
I didn't see him.
Okay, yeah. Here, push up, try to pocket him, pocket him, pocket him. So, sorry, this is so nice. I'm gonna let it keep running because I do have to go in a second, but there's a lot of elements happening here of repeats of what we talked about. So
Right.
the Genji, you're just not seeing it. Try to like just be more mindful. Think about like everything that's on your screen. Don't always tunnel vision. It's easier said than done, but the more you just kind of think about it, like, okay, what's happening other than like the immediate thing I'm trying to do right now, the more you can like think about everything that's on your screen, that you know about what's happening in the game without focusing just on your like thing in front of you, it will unlock so much safer decisions for your teammates as well as yourself. And then also, if you can be more proactive, like when we see Genji ulting here, we really want to push up and pocket that, right? We're a mini nano boost. So watch again here. We're a mini nano boost. It's kind of hard. But you need to kind of... I know you just used GA there, so it's kind of awkward timing. But if you had... I'll give you 2 comments really quick and we'll keep it going. If you had checked Genji Head Blade, you would know ahead of time, I don't want to use my Guardian Angel because I need to save it for when Genji blades, okay? Ultimately, that's what this comes down to. If you had checked the leaderboard and seen, oh, Genji has Blade, or talk to them in voice. I think you're not in voice with them, but you're in your 3 stack.
They are not in voice.
They are or
Wait.
not. Well,
The Genjis
regardless,
are not
there's going to be
or-
games in the future where
Right.
like they will be. So you can collaborate with people, or at least you can have the information for yourself if you press tab, or if you're playing on PC, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, if you press tab or wherever you have it bound to, and you can see the leaderboard, check for big ults. Like Emery ult's a good one to check for. Genji's really good to check for. Sojourn's really good to check for. These are things you want to like put your beam on for the entire duration and enable. Check before, and that you should keep in mind when you check for it and he has it, I want to hold my movement ability so I can respond quickly and basically do a mini Ana nano boost on Genji here. But we're not able to, and it gets awkward because we use our movement, we use it, right? We use our resource kind of for nothing, right? Like we're not like exactly doing anything with that. And it makes it awkward where we're like a little too far away from Genji. We can't help him and he ends up dying. Totally different story if we're able to keep the beam on him that whole time, right? Like he probably gets out there after deflecting and yeah, he's at least alive. So that's another moment of like not being proactive, okay?
Right.
Yeah. And feel free to jump in if you have any questions. I like how you're positioning back really far. You're not taking a lot of damage, which is good. Good job looking behind you and helping Mizuki. Excuse me. Most of the time, I would say that was
I shouldn't have gotten away with that.
Yeah, most of the time, I would say that was a bad res. I actually think Winston is one of these heroes where It actually, you can just res through Winston's damage a lot of the time because it's so low. Sorry, I'm gonna call it out again. This is the moment where you're like Mizuki die. This is fine because like Winston can't kill you fully. His damage is kind of slow. This is okay. But against other heroes you would have gotten punished, right? You know it too. Like yeah. But right here I want to call this out. I'm going to pause it, so I'm going to keep this here, but ready to go. But when this happens, you got to have object permanence here, okay? Genji, there were 2 people in front of you right here, right? Watch again. Watch. All right. 2 people. We are beaming Genji, right? Genji is lower right now. I understand why you got the beam on Genji, right? I'm not trying to say beam Mizuki right now. Beam Genji. Now Genji's safe. What are we doing now? Turning. And we are not forgetting about our other comrade, right? Our other friend. We gotta help him. He is slowly burning to death, and he dies. Meanwhile, Genji is full. This is an important concept too. I'm not going to touch on it too long, but the more you collect the information, you'll just naturally do this better. But we don't have to get Genji to full HP. We can get him to like 80% and then realize, you know what? Genji's out. He's like in the back. I'm actually more at risk than Genji, right? Like he was way back here. I'm probably going to get shot more than Genji. And who's even more likely to get shot? The guy I just ran by, right? Like he's behind me still. So I need to turn around and beam him. And I honestly think he probably lives this because he's going to get behind the box and then, or Winston's going to have to like really push up far and your team can kind of kill Winston because he's going to have to kind of chase the Mizuki longer. Like they're just trust me, so much like it's butterfly effect. Like so much like goes much better for you if you just put your beam on Mizuki here, okay? And the reason you don't is I really think it's like a very visual thing for a lot of people. Like if it's not on your screen, it's not happening for a lot of people. And so gotta really turn around and look. And like, honestly, this whole fight might go differently if you have Mizuki ult. Like, oh my God, this is like the best game ever to review. I don't know if he had ult there, but let's just, maybe he did when he died or he was close to getting it. If he had it that whole time, you can Mizuki ult there. Like, you probably don't die as early. Like, so much changes if Mizuki doesn't die, because you can only control what you can do, but if you can get that beam on him, so big. So.
Ready for
I
battle.
think a lot of the time I'm just like
Ready for battle.
focused on living. But I definitely could have like
Greetings.
still GA towards Genji, but then turn around and he'll lose.
Yes. I think a big unlock, and I actually think I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm observing that too. I think a lot of the time I'm noticing you're a little focused on like your movement, and the next like a little unlock for you is like cue the move, like know what you're gonna do with your movement, and then while you're flying in the second part of your movement, adjust. Like you gotta like start looking around for your next beam target while you're still in that movement phase. I think if you can do that a little faster, you'll collect more info, be able to move around, adjust like your beam target midair, for example, while you're flying. And I think that'll really help you a lot. Like right here, we can like already adjust maybe onto Mizuki. Let me see. This is good. Save him. Nice. Really good job. I like the double flash heal perks. I'm glad you took it there.
Yeah, I like it too.
It like saved him right there, so that was big. Honestly, really good job healing there. All you had to do though was heal, right? You didn't have to damage boost. The honest reality is most of the time during actual fights. Okay, wait. I think you're letting someone die. Yeah, Mizuki.
Never die. Deploying refuse.
Nice. Good flash heal. Nice. All you gotta do is just heal your team here. All we want to do is live through this overtime. Nice. I know you let Genji die there, kind of, but you... Oh, no. Okay. But I do appreciate you turning around to look at that other... I don't know who it was, Sierra.
Sierra.
That's the right idea. Just keep practicing. You'll get so much better at it the more it happens. Here is just a moment of... This broke. Do you know why it broke? It's because the cart's pushing it forward,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So you gotta stay on the side of the cart and walk with it. From the front to the end of the cart is a little too far, and that's why it ends up breaking.
Yeah.
That was another
Also, I think
moment you
I'm
didn't see
really-
Sierra.
Right. I think I'm just really anxious when it comes to touching cart. Because sometimes it just feels like if I'm not doing it, then who's gonna do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like that putting trust into my teammates, but like that could be hard.
Yeah, I understand. I think just focus on what you can do. I think at the end of the day, Mercy's job is not to touch the cart most of the time. There are moments where like
Ready for battle.
you're the only one who can get there because of your movement, like that's different, or like for example it's too unsafe for other people to go touch it. Totally understand. Those are exceptions to the rule though. Most of the time you need to leave it up to your tank and DPS and often your other support to be touching, okay? Mercy like wants to, of all the heroes, wants to play behind natural cover the most, okay? Nice res. That was good. That was like perfect timing. Nice movement. Nice movement. Nice using May's wall to avoid damage. Flash shield, flash shield, flash shield. Oh wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I think May does a really funny wall here.
Oh, where she like cut off her team kind of, maybe, right?
Yeah, if she does it again.
Oh, okay, we'll see. That one?
Wall. Yep.
Yeah, she's like walling her team kind of. I don't know if she's trolling, but probably not. I think she's trying to help. Nice. I would have flash shielded that too. I don't want her that low.
Right.
Even though it seemed like she's safe, sometimes weird stuff happens. Sometimes Bastion's grenade bounces out of nowhere and hits them. Keep an eye on your sim. Flash heal. Nice. Nice. Good job trying to save her flash, or sorry, Val. Nice. Nice. Really good job hiding. I don't think it changes what happens here. I think your team is gonna, oh wait, maybe it would have actually. I think don't fly back to the point here. We'll watch this one more time, but don't fly back. Just keep peeking out of the lobby. This is, I think this is called lobby. Just keep peeking here. Don't do this. You're really exposed to a lot of damage here from Bastion and Moira. Instead, keep the beam on Ram, and you can even actually come out this way, okay? It's much safer for you over here. You don't want to tank this coalescence. I know a lot's happening in the moment, but I'm just correcting this like behavior. Like she's shooting you and you can keep your beam on and like it'll stay on for a little bit and then peek again. You can even get the health pack here because you're kind of low. You have a lot of options. So really what probably should happen here is once you notice Sierra's over here by collecting info, because you can see her through the wall, she's on your team. You can and you see the May ult here too. Bastion's shooting you. This is all scary. Scary. You can sometimes go through here. And actually this side is safer for you when a lot's happening. And so don't, yeah, just like assess like, I won't harp too much on this, but like you do kind of just like fly in and kill yourself versus if you just rotate this way, you could have kept healing. Imagine you're healing here. You wouldn't have died. Oh my God, this might be like the best VOD to review ever. Like this fight totally changes if you don't kill yourself, right? So, yeah, I know it's hard though. It's like so much is happening in the moment, but that's how you can get better. Try to heal Mizuki here. Okay, it's fine. Ends up being fine. He just regens. I do think you're very visual. Sorry, not you in particular, just like everyone, especially in the lower ranks, is very, very heavy on like visual cues. The more you can start to like picture what's going on in the game with your brain without having to like see it is also like a really big unlock. Like I just know like I'm trying to think about how to explain, but like, oh, Sierra's still over there and like 3 ults happened here. Kind of thinking in like concepts. Like, okay, there's like 3 people attacking me here. I want to adjust through in a way out of like that lobby, even though it's on their side of the point. Like they're all on my side of the point, so there must be no one over there. That must means it's safe and I can move over. I'm in Valk, so I'm also really mobile. Like the more you kind of get the vibes of that, like kind of,
Yeah, that would have been
it'll help.
better. Because
Yeah.
then, like, the whole team would have had to turn around just to shoot me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, they would have had to like readjust.
Yeah.
And yeah, you should rewatch this back, especially once I send you the video. There are so many fights that are happening in this replay that like if you had played better, and this is the beauty of like why we're doing these reviews, like if you had played better, I can 100% tell you you would have like flipped what happened in the fight into in your team's favor, and that is like an awesome feeling. I hope you feel like, I mean, it might feel bad, like oof, like that was my fault, but it's an awesome feeling. Like there are so many things here like you can really change. So let me
Yeah.
write your final notes. One thing I would recommend that I forgot to write earlier, and it happened again, is like cue your flash heal earlier. Sometimes you're waiting until they're too low. I recommend queuing it or like using it around when they're like half HP, uh, because they're going to take more damage after you queue it, so you want a buffer, so it doesn't miss. And then and then what's another one I wanted to talk to you about? Any other themes? I'm just like forgetting now. We talked about so many good things. uh Sorry, the flash heal, being proactive, I think I talked about that. um Looking around more, we talked about. Oh, did I talk about Valking early? I don't think I talked about that in here before. Start looking around more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so
Yeah.
um Valk much earlier. You are using it a little too late sometimes. Try to like snowball your team into the fight with it. It's like a weak alt that gets value over 15 seconds. It's not meant to be used like Lucio or Zenyatta ults, which are more like get out of jail or like, oh shit, my team is dying
Right.
buttons. Um, Mercy's ult is more like an aura that exists for as long as possible on as many people on your team as possible. So you want to use it early. Trying to think if there's anything else, but yeah, this was a really good review. There's so many
Yay!
really good stuff like happening here to like, I think when you watch this back, it's going to be really helpful. The main things I think for you are, it all starts, and this is something I've come to learn over like doing hundreds of these now. It all starts with getting the visual information. Like I think people cannot start to make better decisions if they don't know what they are missing, right? Like if you don't know what you don't know, it's hard to be like, I should have helped that person or something like that. So I really think you do need to start keeping a better eye on your team. So if I were you, the next game I go into with this, um I would not try to do all of these things at once, okay? Like obviously you've got this, um not to hype myself up, but I think you've got some amazing notes here of like what you can do moving forward. Don't try to do every single one of these things at once. Really start with like collect more information, because you're going to find it's going to help you position better, because you're going to know where all the enemies are. You're going to know where you need to readjust to help your teammates. You're going to save more of your teammates. You're going to save yourself more. You're going to stop doing reses where you die. And as you do those things, you'll find these actions. Remember that like ladder I was kind of talking about? At the top, you're like winning games. At the bottom, you're doing these like micro things like healing people or dodging abilities or something. Those are all going to ladder up. You're going to find you're going to win so many more fights. You're going to rank up more. It's like small things, like, but literally like butterfly effect, but like exponential. Like, it's all going to help you to be so much better. So I'm trying to see what else. Another thing you can just do starting next game too is like try to cue the flash heal a little earlier. Use it a little earlier than you think you need to, and then you'll be like, oh my god, I'm getting so many more of them off. And same with the Velk. Those are things you can actually just think about. So next game, I'm Scythe. I'm thinking I'm going to flash heal earlier. I'm going to Valk earlier, and I'm going to look around a lot more. Okay. The resing, I think, will take a while, but I think you will be prepared to be smarter about how you do your reses, and because you will start looking around more. I think it's like a prerequisite. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
Some things just come with time, so.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I actually think you answered all of them, and I really appreciate the VOD review because, like, when I watch my own games, there's only so many things that I can look at and be like, oh, I could have done that instead. But like, I don't feel like I could have seen any of the mistakes that you saw.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's hard when you're watching your own gameplay to do that, because you've got your own biases and you've got your own way of thinking already, and especially when you are not like GM or champion or something. Like when you're GM or champion, you kind of know everything about like how the game works and can kind of like, oh, that was a big mess up for me or whatever. I understand all the building blocks, but I totally agree. So I think the number one way to learn is to get your gameplay reviewed. So I'm glad. I really think this is helpful, and I suspect you're probably going to rank up a lot. So, as most people who are lower rank do when they get a review. So please let me know. And I just want to say happy early birthday again. I hope this was like a fun
Thank
little
you. I
present you got for
appreciate
yourself.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I would definitely get another one if I felt heart stuck again.
Sure. You're always welcome to do that. I've done multiple for some people before. Yeah. So, always feel free to. And let me know if you have any other questions when you watch it back. You can always ping me, or when I post it, you can ask in the comments there, or you can just DM me on Discord, and
Okay.
that'll be great. And then, yeah, I'll send you the notes and I'll upload it in a couple days.
Okay.
So that'll be
Perfect.
great. Yeah, thank you so much again. I'm so appreciative of you supporting me. It means a lot that people pay and support my stream and my content creation. So I appreciate that a lot.
I mean, you're a great creator. I haven't. I would say that you have very nice educational Mercy videos. Even from like the first one I watched from your videos, I was getting the vibe that I should heal more, and I feel like in general that changed my Mercy gameplay.
Nice. Yeah, I'm so glad. I
Like in the
think
long run.
yeah. I'm so glad. I think people don't realize they have to heal a lot on Mercy. Not a lot of tips out there saying heal a lot on Mercy, right? It's mostly the opposite.
Mhm.
So, yeah, let me know how this goes for you. And again, happy early birthday. Hope you have a great birthday month.
Thank you, and thank you again for the VOD review.
Of course. And it was nice meeting you. All right, bye
Nice meeting
now.
you too. Bye.
Great. Well, that was our live review. This was a really meaty one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want, you can always buy a gameplay review on my coffee page. The link is in the description below, and you can just buy one right away. Or if you want to earn one for free, you can watch my Twitch stream, and you can earn channel points here. This one is 75,000 points right now. Sometimes it goes up. Oh, my webcam's covering it, but just trust me, you can redeem it for the points, and that's how people get free ones. So you can watch there. And if you have any questions, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment. I try to read all of them and respond to all of them. I love making videos like this. It's my favorite part about creating content and streaming. And yeah, I love trying to help other people. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, it would mean a lot if you would help me back and like the video, share it with others who you think it might help, and subscribe. And I think if you're on mobile, there's a way to like boost the video so it trends better. So if you can do that, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to meet other Mercy mains, we have a Discord community too. There's over 1,000 Mercy mains in there now, which is super cool. So feel free to join that as well. All the links for all these resources, or if you want to see the notes I took, they're in the not the Discord, the description below. So thank you guys so much again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.